The laughter that never fades. They say if you drive along County Road 47 on a foggy night, you might see a flicker of light through the trees, the faint glow of carnival tents, the glint of a Ferris wheel turning soundlessly in the dark. But there hasn't been a carnival there in over 50 years. Most dismiss the stories as small-town nonsense, but some still hear the music, some still smell the popcorn burning, and some never come back.
The Return. Eleanor Raines had always hated October. It wasn't the cold, it was the memory of that October night when her brother vanished. She was 8 then, he was 12, and their mother had taken them to the Marrow Creek Traveling Carnival, a yearly event that set up near the edge of the woods. That was the last night anyone saw Tommy. He'd begged to ride the carousel one more time, even though it was closing. Eleanor remembered the flickering bulbs, the carved horses, and the way one of them, a black stallion with glass eyes, seemed to stare straight at her as the calliope played. She remembered Tommy laughing, waving as he went around. And then he didn't come back down. The police searched the grounds, the woods, the river. No trace. The carnival packed up before dawn and disappeared. Now, 27 years later, Eleanor was back. Her mother was gone, her father a silent ghost of a man. And Eleanor, now a journalist for a local paper, had returned to cover an odd story. Abandoned carnival lights seen again near Marrow Creek. Locals said the lights flickered back once every 3 decades. Eleanor didn't believe in ghost stories, but she believed in closure.
The first glimpse. The forest was silent as she parked her car. The fog was thick enough to taste. Her flashlight barely cut through the mist, and when she turned off the engine, the ticking metal of the car was the only sound. Then she heard it, a faint, tinny melody. Calliope music. She froze. The same song she remembered from childhood. Something like "Pop Goes the Weasel," but slower, off-key. Her light swept through the trees and caught a glint, a line of old carnival bunting, faded red and gold, fluttering where no wind blew. She followed it deeper until the fog thinned, and there it was, the Marrow Creek Carnival, standing as if frozen in time. The Ferris wheel rose like a skeleton in the mist, its lights faintly pulsing. The carousel horses gleamed with wetness, though it hadn't rained. Booths lined the dirt path, still filled with prizes, dolls with cracked faces, deflated balloons, stuffed bears eaten by moths. Her breath came out in white puffs. Every sound felt wrong, muffled, distant, except for the faint creak of a carousel turning on its own.
The man in the striped suit. "Evening, miss," said a voice behind her. She turned sharply. A man stood there, tall, thin, dressed in an old-fashioned ringmaster's coat, his face hidden beneath a brimmed hat. His skin was pale as wax, his smile too wide. "We've been expecting you," he said. Eleanor's throat tightened. "I'm with the Gazette. I'm investigating." He tipped his hat. "Investigating? Oh, my dear, you already know what happened. You just don't remember yet." Her stomach dropped. "What are you talking about?" He gestured toward the carousel. "Would you like a ride? For old time's sake?" The calliope music started again, louder now, and she saw a small figure seated on one of the horses. A boy. He turned, smiling. It was Tommy. Her knees buckled. He looked exactly as he had that night. Same striped shirt, same grin. But his eyes were too dark, too hollow. "Ellie," he whispered, his voice distant. "You came back." The carnival that eats time. Eleanor stumbled toward the carousel, shouting his name, but the ringmaster's gloved hand caught her arm. His grip was icy. "He's part of the show now," he murmured. "They all are." She looked around and noticed the carnival wasn't empty anymore. Figures were gathering between the tents, children, adults, carnival workers, all pale, with that same hollow look. Some held balloons, some popcorn bags that never emptied. They moved slowly, dreamlike, swaying to the music. "Where did they all come from?" she gasped. "They never left," the man said softly. "The carnival doesn't end, it waits. It remembers those who owe it something." "Owe it?" she whispered. The man's smile thinned. "A promise, a wish, a last ride." He reached into his coat and pulled out a faded carnival ticket, edges burned. "You left before paying your price, Eleanor." Her flashlight flickered. She remembered how she'd run from the carousel that night, frightened of the black horse that seemed alive, and how Tommy had begged her to stay. "I'll ride for both of us," he'd said. And he had. The last ride. Now she understood. The ride. The carousel creaked to life, turning faster. The horse's eyes glowed faintly red. The boy's voice echoed through the mist. "Come on, Ellie, it's fun!" The ringmaster leaned close, whispering in her ear. "Every 30 years we returned, for those who ran." Her heart hammered. "What happens if I don't?" He smiled. "Then someone else takes your place." The shadows shifted, and she saw her father standing beyond the lights, looking lost, muttering her name. His eyes were blank, as if he were walking in a dream. "No," she whispered. "One ride," the ringmaster said, "and he can go free." Eleanor stared at Tommy, at the carousel spinning faster and faster. The black stallion neighed, its jaw creaking open, not wood anymore, but flesh and bone. Inside, something pulsed. She stepped forward. The price. As she mounted the horse, the ringmaster bowed. The carousel surged into motion, and the lights flared, bright, too bright. The calliope screamed instead of played. The faces of the riders blurred, then melted, ghosts spinning through time. Eleanor reached for Tommy's hand. He was crying. "I didn't mean to stay," he whispered. "It wouldn't let me go." "It's okay," she said, tears streaming down her face. "It's my turn." The world stretched, distorted. The tents bent inward, the Ferris wheel twisted into the sky, and the carousel began to sink into the earth, dragging light and color with it. The last thing she saw was the ringmaster tipping his hat, whispering, "The show must go on." 30 years later. Marrow Creek locals still tell the story. Some say a young boy in a striped shirt is sometimes seen by the roadside, waving at passing cars. Others say if you go near the woods on a foggy night, you can hear a woman's voice calling a name over and over. And sometimes, on especially cold evenings, the air smells faintly of popcorn and rust. One journalist's car still sits by the old road, keys in the ignition, headlights dead. And when the fog rolls in, people swear they can see her face reflected in the mist, smiling faintly as carousel music plays far, far away.